What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Um, it's kind of chilly out here this morning, and this is probably last week or two that the fish will be out here eating. As the temperature gets cold, it's kind of goes through a cycle, and once the water temperature gets below about 50 degrees, the fish head for the deep part and they hibernate for the winter. And the leaves are falling off the trees. You know, Jerry want to see more leaves fall, and they have fallen. And it seems like the Dallas Cowboys have fallen apart and are completely broken. I want to give some advice to anybody who's like me, a Cowboys fan. People keep telling me, forget that team, man. Yeah, move on, man. The Cowboys, they suck, man. Jerry Jones has ruined the team, and this, that, and the other. And that's great in theory, and it's the truth. It would be easy to say, screw the team. But unfortunately for me, who have been here on this planet for 59 years, there's so much tied with the Dallas Cowboys. To just move on to another team and forget the Cowboys, for me, is forgetting about sitting on the sofa as a little kid, looking up to my dad and hearing him talk about the Cowboys. And not even understanding what football was, not understanding the names of the players or the game. Me wanting to be like my father. I don't know what the Cowboys are, but if that guy, the guy that I still look up to this day, I'm all in. I'm all in on that. When I think about the players that I got to watch growing up, seeing the Drew Pearson with the Hail Mary catch from Roger Staubach, when I see the Doomsday defense and have met, all of them, the Manster, seeing and talking, of course, to Ed Too Tall Jones, meeting Cliff Harris, and seeing those guys that took the team that was a great regular season team, but couldn't win the big ones, losing to like the Ice Bowl, until they finally did against the Miami Dolphins. Those epic battles with the Steelers in the Super Bowls. Tom Landry, the man with the hat. Seeing that team go down the drain and get old, only to be reborn with the next generation. Seeing that Doomsday defense too. Seeing Troy Aikman with Emmitt Smith and Michael Irvin and putting that together. You can't just walk away from all of everything that you knew. My comfort zone, my heroes, Lord knows they're everywhere throughout my basement. All of those things, all of those great things and everything that made the Dallas Cowboys, that these guys, these guys out here that are on the field now, that haven't busted a grape, are reaping the benefits of what they did. It's kind of like the United States. If it weren't for the founding fathers and them fighting fighting England for their rights, we're not sitting here today the same way. The reason why we're America is of those guys that fought the war and came up with the Constitution. I'm not going to say it's perfect. Not going to say that everything that's happened throughout our history is great. But it brought us to where we are right here, right now. And you got to take the good with the bad. Unfortunately, from the moment Jerry Jones fired Jimmy Johnson, from that moment, the die was cast of mediocrity. So if you, like me, are a diehard Dallas Cowboy fan, And that's not going to change. I can't. I literally can't change. How would it be if I all of a sudden became, I can't even think of what team. I guess about the only team I could look at right now and say I could be a fan of would be New Orleans, but New Orleans hasn't done anything in a long time either. But New Orleans, because of I got relationships with people that are on the team or the city, because Lord knows they got great food and stuff down there. But what would it be like if I all of a sudden went and became a New Orleans fan? It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It's Cowboy Joe, although Joe Book a transfer, he is a voodoo doll. But still, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. So my advice to you is understand what you get with our Cowboys. We're going to be glitz and glamour. We're going to be talked about a whole hell of a lot. We will get excited by some of the players that we have. We'll get pissed off by Jerry Jones. But as far as talking about playoffs and Super Bowls, if it happens, it's a bonus. It's a bonus. But as long as Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones are doing exactly the same thing that they've been doing for 30 years, where they think we know how to fix this thing, and Jerry Jones is literally in denial, thinking that he's the one to fix this, that there's nobody better than Jerry Jones, on the same day he's up here on 105 The Fan basically talking about, well, you can't just bring in players. You can't just bring in players that are going to go fix this. That Devontae Adams gets traded to the Jets for a 3rd round pick. I told you guys that. That's an opportunity to say, we can stretch the field now. But no, can't afford that. Can't afford that. So if you want to continue to be a Dallas Cowboy fan, root for those players. Root for what we were in the past and those Hall of Famers and those greatness. Live with those 5 Super Bowls. But don't expect the Cowboys to do anything with the mentality that we have. Until Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones back the F up and let football people do their job and just write the checks. It's not going to change. Cowboys, they got to get somebody who understands the freaking cap. The Cowboys need to get somebody to understand free agency, because as much as you want to blame those players on the field, Cowboys have done good at drafting players, but it's not enough. You handicap yourself because you spend nothing in free agency to top the teams off. And the Joneses, this is the sad part about it, they've wasted teams. They had teams that were close, that had they just had a little insight to say, let's grab a player or two, but won't do it. It's my advice if you're a Cowboy fan. Understand, this is all we're going to get. And that's sad for what used to be a glorious franchise.